The one thing that they failed to realize was that I've always had boundaries, which are limits set for my life. Meaning there was always a part of my life that was my real life that they would never be a part of nor have any knowledge of. When I dealt with my enemies that people may have from the outside viewed as friends or acquaintances, that's my public life. But see, that's the reason why I say you have to be careful who let come to your house, because when you start allowing people from your public life to come into your home, that's your private life. And I think a lot of times we don't separate and differentiate between the two. So just because you hang with people that you consider acquaintances, you might, which is your public life, the moment that you allow them into your house, you've just invited them into your private life. Even though there are things pertaining to your private life that you would never convey to them, such as, any occurrences between you and your family members or anything private like that. Because I can honestly say one thing I've never done is discussed my family's private business with acquaintances that I hung with. Acquaintances/enemies. I've never discussed anything about my family members with them. There was only one that I may have shared a little bit about my private life with my family with. But even with that person, I never talked about my family life or anything about my childhood or anything. That person really doesn't know anything about me. Now, isn't that something? The one that instigated and initiated all of this warfare against me really doesn't even know me, because I've never talked about my life to that person, because I've always had something in me that didn't trust people. And I'm glad, because Father said, trust no man. And I wasn't raised to speak or talk about my personal business, because there was somebody else in my bloodline, that was very private. I just came out of a private environment. It's like, I just don't discuss my business. I feel like if it's something that I want to convey, I will. And if it's something that I don't, I won't. And that's the reason why the person that started this warfare against me looks like an even bigger idiot. Because when I did begin to share bits and pieces of my life to show people who I really am versus all the lies and the defamation of character that people were trying to paint, that people were painting of me, I'm sure that person felt like an idiot, because pretty much the things that I've shared in my conferences, that person didn't even know about me. Isn't that something? So that goes to show that people a lot of times don't mean to you what they think they mean. It's not that you don't care about people, but it's like, yeah, I know you, but I don't know you like that. And it's really good to be that way, because if at any time that person decides they want to play the Judas card, they don't know nothing about you other than what they've created in their own mind's eye, their own imagination. And basically with the person that brought the warfare against me, that was projection. That was projection because of the type of females that individual was brought up around. So now every female has to be what those things were. I know the devil to be a liar. But anyway, so with compartmentalization, this represents you, and then this represents your life. And in my case would be me and my life. And these images of these folk around me, these represent family members. And this box represents my real life. Like the people that were actually involved in my real life are in this box. And the people that I was acquainted with, they are outside the box. But they were out there running their mouths about me like they were inside the box. They were never inside my personal life, ever. My era was allowing them into where I lay my head. That's why I say be careful. And that's all I care to convey about that, because I don't want to spill too much in this conference. But I say be careful who you allow in your house, because some of the people that came up against me and was trying to defame my name at one point used to be visitors in the home I stayed in.